Sing.
All right, I'm Dallas P. Oliver Jr. And I joined the Air Force right after I got out of school in January of '42. I was in the National Guard already, so I went on recruiting service because I didn't need to have any basic training because I was already taking military training before. Is that thing going?
Uh-huh, it's going.
So in 42, I joined the Air Force. I volunteered for the Air Force, and then I went on recruiting service to help put the men in the Air Force because I'd already had the training. And I stayed in that for 5 months and recruited. Our crew recruited downtown Port Arthur 2,500 men in the Air Force, which was all earmarked to go to Ellington Field if they joined, which they agreed, and so they went to Ellington Field. I stayed at Ellington Field. I stayed at home while I was on recruiting service. Then I stayed at home, and when the basic training was over, they sent me to train as an Air Force gunner on a B-17 bomber. And that was in '42. I stayed 42. I was stationed at Ellington Field right out of Houston for about 3 months. Then I went to Fort Dodd in San Antonio. Then I got on a regular bombing crew the same summer, and went from there to gunnery school as a AP mechanic, flight engineer. So then I got my rank, and I was a 748 top turret gunner on a B-17. And my first mission in '44 was Poznan, Poland. I was flying out of England over into Germany. I went to Poznan, Poland, 14-hour mission. We made it there and made it back. Second mission was outskirts of Berlin, which it had never been penetrated. Got back okay, and the third mission, I went on the mission, and I got deathly sick. They put me in the hospital, stayed in the hospital, kind of like the flu, for 3 days or 4 days, while my crew was flying with another crew in my place. So at that time, I had 3 missions And when I started back, they had 5 missions. And I only had 3. Then they let me out of the hospital in 44, and they planned the big push with 2,000 bombers, July of 44. That, at that time, was my 4th mission. It was my crew's 5th mission, because they'd already got ahead of me. So then I went to gunnery. I went to another gunnery school on another crew, another bomber, and made 3 more missions, which made my 6th mission, and they had almost 8 or 9, I forget. So everything was all right. We went out on the their 8th mission and got shot up and had to land on an emergency airfield and salvaged the plane. It wasn't flyable anymore. So I had my bombardier and my navigator was both shot.
Killed?
No. No, while we were flying, nothing happened to them other than Zalco and Blackjack Turner, which was the navigator, and Zalco was the bombardier. They both got shot, and we treated them and landed on an emergency landing field in Yorktown. We made it across the channel without ditching, without hitting the water, and we made that. They brought us a new plane, which was sad on my part because it didn't have any paint on it. And a plane that's silver and doesn't have any paint on it is a death trap. Radar can follow you anywhere. So at that time, by the time we had went to 2 or 3 more missions, I was on my 10th mission. And my crew was on their 13th mission. They had 3 missions more than me. So on the fatal move of March, later on in March, they gave us the mission to go to a Luftwaffe Air Force camp and wipe it out. So we went in there, and that's where we got hit going in, caught all kind of commotion coming out, but didn't make it all the way. And there I was, flak coming up with a brand new plane.
Silver at that.
They evidently didn't have time to paint it. I still say they sent us on a
Suicide mission.
on a what did I call it?